To officially open today's sessions, we are truly honored to hear from a leader who believes that education must do more than fill minds. It must awaken hearts and elevate lives. Please join me in welcoming Sri R.J. Rathnakar Garu, Managing Trustee of the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust, a visionary whose leadership reflects the timeless truth that education is not just a means to make a living, but a way to make life meaningful. Under his stewardship, values-based education has flourished across borders, learning styles, and neurodiverse needs. Echoing the very theme of this summit, neurodiversity to neuroplasticity. Here's an interesting brain fact. The average human brain can process about 11 million bits of information every second. Yet, only about 40 bits reach conscious awareness. Well, I think we can all agree when Sri Rathnakar Garu speaks, every one of those 40 bits sits up straighter and pays attention. So as he shares his thoughts today, let us listen not just for information, but for illumination. Because his words don't just inform, they transform. They rewire not just synapses, but our sense of service, our commitment to compassion, and our courage to lead and change. Sri Rathnakar Garu, we welcome your words and your wisdom with deep gratitude and undivided attention.
I offer my prayerful salutations at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Master, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Elders, distinguished educators, experts, very dear, very dear, very dear Vidya Vahini volunteers who are very dedicated to this mission. Welcome you all. When Srimati Karuna Munshi ji said, brought the schedule, I was also listed for speaking. I said, what do I speak in such a formal conference? I asked her, can you give me some points to speak? And she gave me almost 3-page note. And this morning when I was coming, just I thought, let me read it. Then I realized that we are all differently abled. Because after reading it, sort of challenged my brain. I said, should I speak all this? Should I repeat all the jargon? Neurodiversity, neuroplasticity, neurodynamics, neurons, neural pathways. I said, anyhow, I don't want to offend them, so I said, let me bring that small write-up and while I was coming up, then we have our own good friends here. He said, sir, you are prepared and coming this time. First time we are seeing you prepared coming. I said, first time I am speaking in such a forum also. And almost they pulled it away from me. Said, no sir, you go and speak whatever, you speak normally, it will be nice. I said, no. Then I think they took little pity on me and they brought back this 3-page note. Anyway, this is a a wonderful event that is taking place here, and I am sure every one of you feel it's a very special event that is being organized, and I think we should put our hands together for Vidya Vahini team for such a stupendous work. Their dedication, their commitment, and this very niche field, it's awe-inspiring. Even the first session I attended yesterday, so much of learning. With learning, you get you also learn humility. You know the kind of possibilities that exist in this world, the kind of diversity that exists in this world, and the creation itself is so diverse, and the inclusiveness of the entire creation. What better place than Prashanti Nilayam to host such a wonderful summit? A place which includes every human being, irrespective of caste, creed, region, religion, economic status, functional status. It included everyone without any judgment. That is the beauty of this Prashanti Nilayam. And here we are having this wonderful conclave. I think words cannot describe such a wonderful effort. The kind of effort that Vidya Vahini team has put to bring in this lovely conference. Last few months, every detail has been planned. Minutely, even the small things they planned, and I see the result that is so wonderfully being conducted in this lovely Hira Hall. In fact, yesterday after evening program, the hearts were full when we hear those wonderful, lovely kids, our lovely men and women who are performing. Yesterday there was a performance, a singer who is born without eyesight, but so lovely singing, so beautifully singing, it touched every heart in Kulwant Hall. And even the keyboard player, I think he is on the autism spectrum, they said, the wonderful keyboard which he played, so many people have put their messages on our media center networks, appreciating and pouring out their hearts about that wonderful event being conducted here. And someone came up to me and said, how do you all people put up such beautiful programs? I think one more hands to Vidya Vahini team. Neurodiversity, neuroplasticity. I don't want to repeat all this because it's already available for me also, for you also. But when I think of all this, how this beautiful Prashanti Nilayam enabled everybody. Every walk of life, from every walk of life, people came here. All of them were differently able. Differently able means it describes me, describes everyone in this hall, and everyone can be a differently able people. Of course, we are the brain is so beautifully constructed. It was initially they used to call somebody's different labeled handicapped. Then said, no, that is very harsh term, we should move on, it's not correct to depict that kind of a thing. Then they said physically challenged. They said it is also again refers to something which is not correct, we should not use that. So physically challenged or disabled, it's a little negative term, we should have a positive term. So again it came. Now we call differently abled. And in Hindi they said Divyang. So this kind of, again, it's again what I want you to, I want to draw your attention is, it's again who is doing all this? Again the same brain which is working in somebody or other. Yesterday, professor was speaking. I had a great opportunity to attend that first session in the morning. Ruben and they were having neuroplasticity, growth mind, all that was discussed here. I was just going back, the car, I was just thinking, and I was quite impressed by the whole thing, and I was traveling, and thought came to me. Even Ruben or whoever that growth mind, that names I don't remember, neuroplasticity. Which part of them created these things? Ruben, which part of Ruben brought out that such a beautiful learning, beautiful concepts, beautiful teaching tools? Which part of it? Is it hands? Is it legs? Is it stomach? Which part of him brought it out? It is his brain. It is his brain which brought out this. So somewhere or other, every part of it is connected to brain. Even I am speaking, it is brain. You are hearing and processing, it's brain. So brain has, that's why they say this, whatever concepts, I think all of us know, but somebody put it into words and somebody structured it. That's why they say whatever we learned, it has enormous potential. We'll keep on adjusting to every stimulus that it receives. But one thing yesterday also we heard, input, then something happens, then output. They were saying, na? Professor was saying like that, it comes, then you turn your hand and it goes out like that. One thing which I did not understand is sometimes without this also this brain puts out. How is that is doing? That is not known. Only if you have dough, then chapati will come out. No. This brain can create something without input also. That is why maybe Sigmund Freud, he said your identity, your ego, your superego, perhaps he talks about conscious and unconscious, but I think, sir, he was talking about Sthula Sharira, Sushma Sharira and Karana Sharira. That is what it relates to. It says Sthula is about physical, Sushma is about mental, and Karana is about your spirit. I think that is what it related to when he talks about conscious and unconscious, pre-conscious. So we are beings, we are much greater than just this flesh and blood. That is what Sathya Sai Baba has come to teach us. That is what this place teaches everybody. You are not just this flesh and blood and this mere body. Because it's beyond. It's beyond. Otherwise you cannot explain so many things. Whenever I see, it's such a emotive thing to see. Now beautifully Menuka was singing. Maybe she may not be able to visualize or see, but when she sings, she can melt every heart. Every heart. Yesterday also we saw such lovely people presenting. one thought comes to me. Maybe it's little outlandish because here it's all structured brains. So it's for me, this is my personally I feel. Maybe there are some rishis, maybe there are some yogis who for some reason, some distraction, they have to come back to this planet to work out little bit karma which is left out. They come here. When they come here, they don't want to see this world. They don't want to see. I think that's why they withdraw this whole thing inside. They don't want to. Some of them are hard on hearing. Maybe they don't want to hear this world and these manipulations. They don't want to hear these bad things, criticisms, all wrong things. Somebody is unable to speak. I think they have withdrawn their faculty for one reason. They don't want to speak anything which is untruth and lies and a lot of things which I think they withdraw from this world so that they just want to confine to work out that small little karmic, that if it is there. I feel each one of them are very, very elevated. That's why, because what is spirituality? To withdraw yourself into your inner self from outside. And they have withdrawn deliberately and consciously, and they have come here just to work out some little bit of their karmic debt and go back. So we should really revere and respect such people, such children, without anything. They are, maybe consciously they are above us, perhaps, we do not know. They may not express it. Everything is not known to us. And very little or nothing is known to us. That is the premise on which we should start. We know nothing here. Now 86 billion neurons, Professor was saying yesterday, and each one can capable of 10,000 connections. Now 86 billion neurons and 10,000 connections. How many people on this planet? 8 billion people. And what about other living creatures? What about our living creatures? There are 84 lakh species, 84 lakh species. That's why Swami said out of 84 lakhs, 83 lakhs, 99,999 of them are incapable of intuition. Only human being is capable of intuition. And Swami gives beautifully the reason why. Every being, every living creature, their spine is horizontal to the earth. Only human being is vertical. Human being has the capacity to hold the spine vertical to the earth. That's why you can raise your kundalini, you can raise your spiritual energy into your sahasrara. That is what Swami in one of his discourses he talks about. Means human being is only endowed and enabled to raise from human level to the divine level. All others experience, maybe they may not express, but they may have, other beings may do express little bit loyalty, love, affection, all that can be there. But they are not intuitive, they are instinctive. But being born as human beings, we need to, this is a wonderful, wonderful service we are doing here. And yesterday again, from your talk, said there are sensory, motor, from 2 to 7 age groups, all that something we were seeing. But again, when you go back into our scriptures, again it baffles, because human brain is developed in this country to that level, which is unimaginable levels actually. Unimaginable levels. Nobody would even know what the Indian sages and seers have done. We should be proud of this great culture and great Bharat. Because Ramayana, this talked about Ravana possessing Pushpaka Vimana. He had an aeroplane. So they were very advanced in their age. And in fact, the beautiful stories, if it's people get these different abilities, it's not deficits, it's not disorders, it's not defects, but different abilities. If they have to pass on from parents to children, children like that if it is a progeny. I think that also is a myth actually, because we have Hiranyakashipu, who is hater of God, and the whole ecosystem in his kingdom is all of them are haters of God. But he gets a child who is a great lover of God, Prahalada. We do not know how it works. Who gave inputs into this? Again, our great saints, great rishis have created a beautiful scriptures in which they said, when Hiranyakashipu's wife, Leelavati, was on family way, Narada goes and talks about devotion, about human life, ephemeralness of human life, all that. And while the subject was very heavy, Leelavati slept off. But somebody was nodding, somebody saying, And Narada, just after a while, he was closing eyes because Leelavati was there. She was in advanced pregnancy. He felt she should not make her uncomfortable. So he closed his eyes and talking satsang he was doing. So when he opened eyes, Leelavati was fast asleep, but he was getting that nod. He was getting that, like how we say, yeah, like that we are talking, somebody is talking. Then he found that it is coming from the womb of Leelavati. It was the child in the womb of Leelavati who was responding. At what level then brain starts working, we do not know. At what level impressions are created on that brain, we do not know. But we have, at least our ancestors, our great seers have recorded that way, that it is possible that it starts right from the very womb itself. Even if you see Mahabharata, again, the great warrior Abhimanyu, he goes into Padma Vyuha. How did he change? He is a very young man. He was not taught this whole process. But again, when he was in womb, Narada keeps talking about, I think, Narada, I think. Krishna comes and stops. Okay, he talks about how to enter Padma Vyuha and all that. So he creates the whole thing, but then somehow Krishna stops the narration there. That's why he can enter and he cannot come out. These are all beautiful things which we have learned from our scriptures, that what triggers the neural pathways at what level we do not know. Even at fetal level they have started and the impressions remained with them. And it created the personalities in them. So this is something which we need to keep moving on this. We will keep learning. I think we will keep learning about this year and hereafter forever, because so much possibility. Each brain works in a different way. Munde matir binaha. Each brain has its own way of thinking. 8 billion, 8.5 billion people think differently, completely differently. Brothers differently. Brothers think completely differently. Ravanasura thought some way, Vibhishana thought something else. Ravana was very cruel and he was trying to attack and do all sort of things which are not. He was a demonic in nature. But Vibhishana was very, very sattvic and he was a devoted person. Both are brothers, siblings. So how it works, what it works, and this research will go on. It will go on. But today, for limited point, this is the kind of work which the Vidya Vahini volunteers are doing. The kind of lesson plans which they are trying, and the inclusive education, Sathya Sai Central Trust is committed to bring this curriculum for this country. This is a very special space which is, I shouldn't say neglected, but not so much attention is given. So I think it's a great opportunity for all of us in Sathya Sai Central Trust and Sathya Sai Vidya Vahini to put our bit into this and present it to the nation. And there's no some single size fits everybody in any class. Classes, the children are different. Children needs different kind of hand-holding for them to flourish, for them to blossom. So this is very much required today, and I am so glad that we are in that, and we are pioneering, literally we are pioneering. Vidya Vahini is pioneering this field. And I wholeheartedly on behalf of Sathya Sai Central Trust, I appreciate all the efforts of Vidyavahini team and also all the volunteers with so much of dedication. I think from India and from abroad, they all come here, they all join Vidyavahini online, Vidyavahini. Work goes on unhindered. The amount of output that is, ma'am, that output is so much. The input we do not know, it's invisible input, but output is quite high, very high. So what goes on here, massage, you said, no, you do it like this. I don't know who's doing this, but there is so much of output is coming. And it's wonderful. It's a great feeling. And again, I thank everybody, all those who are supporting, who have come here. So many experts are coming, so many people from Government of India, they are all coming here and supporting. And we, hand in hand, really needs to create something which is substantial, which is very useful to this segment of people. Those yogis, those munis, for just to make little more our own offering for them, to create little more comfort to them, little more convenience, to create little more convenience to them. I think it is a great service, and it is not only service to that, I feel it is service of the divine. It is directly service of the divine. Please always say, when you are serving these children, you say you are serving directly Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, because that is how God has decided to express through them. So we need to respect that, we need to have that reverence to that. And God expressed each one in His own inimitable way. But, they may look like that. See the kind of talent they have. When they sing with all the faculties, I think, somebody cannot match that. The way they performed yesterday, the keyboard, that young man, it is so impressive. In fact, I see a lot of people were with the teary eyes when after a program, they were coming to me and telling, such a wonderful thing, your heart is so touched, sir. I think one or two may have to come to me and expressed, but how many of the hundreds and thousands of them here in the hall and all those who are online, how much happy they would have felt and how much elevated they would have felt to see all this happening in this holy precincts of Prashanti Nilayam. This is a place where it has shown the light to the world. Baba has shown the light to the world, and it continues to show that light to the world, and it is the best place where human souls can be taken to the level of divine. This land is being blessed, and that land has been endowed, that Prashanti Nilayam is being designated with that duty to elevate human beings into divine consciousness and fill their hearts with love and peace. That is the duty of this land. That is how God has ordained it. That's why even today, people from all over come here just to be here. The vibrations are so much that it will engulf you, and it takes you to your natural state. Your natural state of just being, natural state of being in bliss, natural state of being in happiness, natural state of being divine. That is the beauty of this place, and I am very, very thrilled to see this beautiful conclave, and once again I should thank all the team. Tirelessly they work here. Let us put our hands together, and sometimes it's good to put our hands for our own selves. Thank you. And I think next 2 days we have, today and tomorrow also we have these proceedings. Whenever, ma'am, there is no brain fog, right? After a long, okay. So whenever there is, then they will give you some tea, coffee, because we don't have any therapies here, only we can do some pet puja and some tea, coffee. I think that's where we get little brain fog. Otherwise we are clear. So have a wonderful time, and may Swami bless you and bless all your efforts. And let us create this wonderful inclusive. Inclusive itself is such a lovely term. It includes, because we always learned at Swami's feet inclusiveness. He drew his logo of all religions. It's always inclusive. Every bit of it is inclusive for him. And it's so wonderful that we are all at his feet in the same path. Maybe we may be talking different jargon, different language, but it is in the same path. So this is a lovely journey. Please continue this journey. May Swami bless you all with abundance of peace, abundance of love, and always be secured in His grace. Thank you. Welcome you all. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sri Rathnakar Garu, for your profound address that connected us through wit, humor, and insight. Sir, you asked about our input, and our input is love for Swami, dedication towards education, and commitment for our country. Today, your words continue to guide us, and your speech leaves us with a lasting impression.